and I can't get this patient to stop thinking any differently, is like, yeah, I just really don't eat anything. I'm like, gosh, we got to eat. So many patients fall into this trap where they think weight loss is just about not eating. Like, I don't need to eat. I need to lose weight, so I don't need to eat. And they really lose track of, it's not about not eating. It's really about eating correctly and nourishing your body. And I think that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest problem I have with my patients. Maybe the second. I think the number one problem that I have with my patients is too many people are so carb centric, and there's too many calories are coming in. Too many dead calories are coming in from processed foods, wasted foods, and carbohydrates. And then the second biggest thing is the patients that get on these medications, they just don't adequately fuel their body, and they're not eating correctly. They're all skipping breakfast, and they just don't want to eat food.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. And I think that's where we as clinicians have to differentiate ourselves. We're of the same mind here, where I'm not leaning on the medication for everything here. I want the patient to sustain an active and sustainable lifestyle. And the nutritional optimization piece is, to me, probably the most important, with strength training and cardiorespiratory fitness being a quick 2 and 3. But one thing I try to explain to patients, speaking of a carb-centric diet, I'm not a carb hater. We're not sitting here saying that we hate carbs or like carbs are the devil or anything like that. That's just going to get us skewered on social media. Carbs have a purpose. They are a fuel source. But when you audit the average American's nutritional protocol, they're eating like hundreds of grams of carbohydrates per day. It is not uncommon for a person to have like a muffin or a bagel for breakfast, 2 slices of pizza in the afternoon, or like a big sandwich or a hoagie. And then like, well, it's so-and-so's birthday in the office, so you have to have chocolate cake as well. And then like 6 ounces of pasta in the evening. That's like 400 grams of carbohydrates, and you're totally filling up on that. So coming into that like protein piece, I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit here, but the reason why protein becomes so important is because as a proportion of your diet, it becomes more important. So like what happens is we need to cut down, like if you're eating 400 grams of carbohydrates and like 50 grams of protein, we need to get those carbs down to like 100, 150, and we got to get the protein up to 100. This is not like a crazy thing to ask for. And in the calorie deficit state, this is so critically important, because when you are in a calorie deficit state, and if you suddenly starve yourself of calories, your body might enter starvation mode and draw upon its amino acid requirements from your muscle, which you do not want it to do. You want to really disincentivize that process. And it becomes hard when your nutritional inputs are smaller. So like if what you're eating is carb-centric and not protein-centric, you almost certainly will not meet your protein requirements.
Watch full episodes on Vitality Unfiltered.